Hi friends, so this is Amit Srivastava and today we are going to talk about the components and services which are provided by Microsoft Azure Cloud Platform. So first I'm going to talk about the different categories of offerings. Uh, so the first one is Infrastructure as a Service or IaaS. So whenever user builds any IaaS service, then users can go and create the resources or services on the Azure platform, but it is the responsibility of the user to manage and maintain that resource or service. That is, any upgrades to the resource or any security patches, those all has to be managed by the user. Then is the platform as a service, which is PaaS offering. Whenever user takes any platform as a service from Azure, then besides getting the infrastructure, Azure takes care of all the maintenance and Azure manages that service for the user. All user has to take care of is their applications or data. Third is the software as a service, wherein whenever user accesses or subscribe to any software as a service from Azure, then apart from infrastructure, its maintenance, the application and the data part is also provided by the Azure. User has to just access that and leverage that service for his or her use case. An example for this is Office 365. So now let's start with the compute services which are offered by Azure. The first one we are going to talk about is virtual machines. So virtual machines or VMs. So user can go to the Azure platform and create the VMs of different OS images or different computing capabilities and pay for that infrastructure. But since it is an IaaS offering, so user needs to take care of all the maintenance such as OS updates or antivirus updates. The second is the virtual network. So it is again an IaaS offering by Azure, wherein users can create the virtual network and subnets in the Azure platform. User can also create the virtual network interface cards to connect to the virtual network. User can get or create one or more public IP addresses, internal and public DNS names, and also user can create the network security groups and rules which secure and control the flow of network traffic. The third one is our app services. This is a platform as a service offering by Azure, and so it lets users host their applications in a fully managed application platform. It provides a collection of hosting and orchestrating services, that is like it secures the application using Azure Active Directory. It can use custom domains, and others also. And whenever a user creates any app service, then that comes with an app service plan, and within that app service plan, user can choose the computational power which he or she wants to use. That is, they can create one or more VMs inside that app service plan, which can be used for scaling. Apart from that, users also get various tools for continuous development. They get custom domains, app service certificates, and Azure deployment slots also. So let's see what all comes under the umbrella of app services. So the first one is Azure Web Apps. So it lets user host their web applications or say APIs, which can be REST API. So in short, using Azure Web Apps, we can host any HTTP driven application. Next is Azure Web App for containers. So basically, it helps users to easily deploy and run containerized web applications at scale. And users can run Docker containers on whether Linux or Windows platform using these web apps for containers. One thing to note is that users' applications are hosted using a predefined application stack, which is based on their Docker image. Then comes Azure Container Instances. So basically, it lets users create and run containers, and in doing so, there is no need to create or configure any network resources upfront. So all these things are taken care by Azure Container Instances. And Azure Container Instances is also a platform as a service offering by Azure. Then it is Azure Kubernetes Service. So basically, or called AKS. So basically, AKS is an enterprise grade managed Kubernetes service where Azure handles many tasks, important tasks such as health monitoring, its maintenance, availability. So it lets developers to just focus on their application which they want to deploy in the Kubernetes cluster. On top of that, Azure also provides features of such as multi-layer security across all operating systems, computer resources, and also data networking, managing identity by Azure Active Directory. Security based also things are also there like secret integration with Azure Key Vault and few policy management also. Next is Azure Container Registry. So Azure Container Registry, you can think of it as a storage for the container images, which is provided by Azure. It is a private re registry for your container images with all the security features provided by Azure, and also the role-based access control mechanism for the authorization. So this AKS, ACR, ACI, these all are platform as a service offerings. Um, then comes Azure Red Hat OpenShift. So basically, Red Hat OpenShift is an enterprise Kubernetes container platform. It is built on top of Kubernetes, and when it runs in Azure platform, so we can say it is an Azure Red Hat OpenShift. Azure Red Hat OpenShift provides good important features and services to run Kubernetes clusters efficiently, such as authentication, logging, some CI/CD tools. So in short, whatever you get with Kubernetes, standalone Kubernetes, you get few extra features when you use Azure Red Hat OpenShift. Next compute service I'm going to talk about is Azure Functions. So basically, Azure Functions they are used to create coding solution for any smaller task. The beauty of Azure Functions is that developers just need to concentrate on the logical code to solve that problem statement. Rest, all the application which is used to run that code or the infrastructure to run that application is all taken care by Azure. So user like has to just write the code to solve any specific problem statement. These Azure functions can be triggered by an HTTP request or any event generated by any other Azure services, or it can also run based on the schedule. So I would like to give an example to that. Is suppose I want to develop a feature that whenever someone uploads any object, which can be image or video, onto my Azure storage, I want to capture the metadata of that object. So for that, what I can do is I can just create an Azure function, and I just need to write the code to capture the metadata. That is all. And rest how that Azure function is going to run, the wrapper application or the infrastructure to run that, my logical code will all be taken care by Azure. And I'll have to pay only when my Azure function gets used. So if it is not used for a long time, I don't have to pay anything. Only for the duration of the time of usage of my Azure function, I'll have to pay, because it runs under a consumption hosting plan. And my Azure functions has input and output bindings to Azure services. Like I said, whenever someone uploads an image to my Azure storage, so that triggers the Azure function, and with these input and output bindings, I can also pass few of the parameters or arguments to my Azure function. Next is the Azure Logical App. So basically, Azure Logical Apps are used for orchestration of business logic by automating a business process, or maybe integrating with the software as a service applications. So basically, using Azure Logic Apps, we can connect to many APIs also. We can connect to Azure SQL database or any other custom application also, right? So, and where it is specifically used is, I'll give you an example. So suppose there is a business flow wherein some email is gonna come, and based on the body of the email, I have to find out what that email is all about. So consider it order management system. So email comes, and I need to find out what is the requirement of the customer, which is mentioned in the mail body, and then based on the requirement, I have to check whether those goods are available in our inventory. If yes, I have to reply back to the users that is order received. If they are not available, I need to shoot a sorry email that these goods are not available. There is some logic, some decision making which is required, and also I need to connect to various other Azure services, or I may need to connect to a custom application also. So all these things, the orchestration of these things is easily taken care by Azure Logic Apps. Then as Azure Spring Cloud. So basically, Azure is Spring Cloud are used to deploy Spring Boot microservices applications to Azure without writing any extra code to make it compatible to the Azure platform. So we can deploy our application using the code or the end artifact, which is the jar. And it also has all the features of Spring Cloud components, such as service discovery, configuration management, or distributed tracing. So basically, these compute services, functions, logic apps, Azure Spring Cloud, these are all the platform as a service offering by